Speaking about the West, and actually almost a uniquely American problem, is this debate that we're having about transgenderism, a debate that none of us could have possibly foreseen. We could have never possibly foreseen that we would be arguing about whether or not men can be women and women can be men. And least of all, even if we were having that sort of a political debate, we never ever thought that this debate would extend to children, that we would be talking about hormones. Well, this is something that you need to hear in its entirety. It is really going to tether you to the reality of a situation. There are a lot of things going on in this video, but I do want to make it clear. The woman that is speaking out had her child taken away from her by CPS in Los Angeles because she refused to allow her daughter to transition. Now, I have talked extensively to mothers and parents about how you really need to hone in on where you want to raise your children, because you do not have rights in Los Angeles and New York. In California and New York, the state, whatever the state decides, is the program of the day. If you decide that you don't want to vax your child, the CPS can get involved. Your children are owned by the state if you live in California or New York, and so many people do not realize that until it is too late. We're about to show you is this LA mother. As I said, CPS took her daughter away from her because she refused to accept that her daughter actually was a man. And I'll let her tell the story of what happened thereafter. Take a listen.
My name is Abigail Martinez. It has been 3 years and 164 days since I lost my daughter, Jaylee. I miss her every single day. Let me tell you how she died. My daughter was murdered by a gender ideology. CPS took my daughter when she was 16 years old. It was held by her public school counselor and LGBTQ group rights and another trans-identified girl. My daughter was taken from her loving home because the state of California claimed I was abusive for not affirming her trans identity. I lost my daughter over a name and a pronouns. Even after I promised to call her a male name, it wasn't enough. My daughter was not a boy trapped in a girl's body. She had mental health issues. Against my consent, my daughter was given testosterone instead of therapy. The LGBTQ group used her to raise money for them. Look at the poor reject trans boy, they said. Why are there so many transgender in foster care? Because this state take them from their families, tell them to run, then steal them. Parents are given one option to treat their distressed child, affirm, drug, and remove their healthy body part, or else lose your child. The abuse claim against me was finally dropped, but it was too late. The damage was done. By then, my daughter was in a horrible mental and physical pain. My daughter knelt down in front of a train. She was murdered by gender ideology. I beg you, stop pushing gender ideology. I don't want any parent to feel what I feel every day. Affirmation is not good for the health, safety, and welfare of any child.
I mean, that testimony is just utterly heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching to hear her say that. It is so scary to imagine a world in which you are sending your daughter to school and a public school counselor working in lockstep with the state makes a decision that your child is struggling, not because they need therapy, but because they need to transition their gender. And that state removes a child from your home. You've raised that child for 16 years. 16 years. They remove that child from your home, place that child in a foster care. An LGBTQ group comes around and begins to raise money off of your daughter by saying, look at this poor trans boy. The idea is that all of these trans children are in foster care because their parents don't want them, when in reality the states are taking them because the parents are refusing to affirm them and are instead saying, let my child seek therapy. This is the story she's telling. And it looks that her story proved to be true because despite the state intervening, taking her child, putting her child on testosterone treatment, allowing her child to live as a boy, raising money off of her child's face, her daughter knelt in front of a train and ended her life. That is a very scary reality that is persisting right now throughout America. You want to know why you have conservative states, Republican states that are standing up and starting to put in place these laws that you think are extreme. Look no further than the example that you just listened to, because there is nothing more extreme than the laws that they are putting into place in places like California and New York. They are removing parental consent. The concept of me as a mother of finding out that a state is giving drugs to my child that they don't approve, it's unimaginable. It would throw me into a rage is what it would do. So tether yourself to the reality of these topics. Tether yourself to the reality that even us discussing these topics puts us at risk. They are so serious about providing this barrier between parents and the power that the state has over children that they're colluding with big tech and trying to get platforms removed, people that are sharing these stories, that are telling you what's happening, that are sharing the stories, people that have detransitioned and are telling you how they got caught up in this journey. They don't even want people to hear this. They want not just the children brainwashed, but also the parents that they go along with it. And it is positively horrific. As I have said, the West is falling.